What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we got big news. We got really big news for the One Piece trading card game, including, and I think this is probably the best place to start, confirmation of set number 3. Now, before we get anywhere else, I just want us all to appreciate we had set 1. That was nice, that was Romance Dawn. We had set 2, that was Summit Battle. And now set 3 is coming along nice and casually. It's called Mighty Enemy. If anybody's interested in how the Japanese actually works out, that last little character there, Teki, is enemy. And Kyodai, which are the first two, is basically strong big. And then that just kind of connects them. So it's basically strong big enemy, except that's not how it actually reads. And it basically works out as Mighty Enemy. Not strongest enemy. There's a different kanji that would use if it was the most strong. So, yeah, that works out quite nicely indeed. And here's the thing. Before we get into anything else, if you're a fan of the One Piece trading card game, and I think at this stage I've proven to you guys that I very much am, this is wonderful, 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 wonderful news. Because it shows us that the One Piece TCG is now, it's at that beautiful stage. It's just ticking along nicely. We had set 1, we had set 2, now we're into set 3. No mucking about, none of that rubbish, just set 1, set 2, set 3, round and round we go, jobs are good 'un. And this is fantastic. Because we want this to happen. We want this to carry on. We started off with Romance Dawn. That came around on the 22nd of July. That was the first set. That was our kind of introduction to the game as a whole. We then had Summit Battle, which just came out on the 4th of November. Yeah, okay, fine. It's not just come out, but it came out fairly recently on the 4th of November. And now we've got Mighty Enemy, which has been slated for release on the 11th of February. Of course, things could always go wrong, but as it stands at the moment, we've got a release date for the 11th of February. And I'm loving this, ladies and gentlemen. I am loving this. The fear when a new card game launches is always that we're going to get 1 or 2 sets, and then 1 or 2 things is going to happen. Either the sets stop coming, which is really bad, or the time between sets starts getting longer and longer, which is generally a sign that the sets might stop coming, which is bad. The fact that we've got this third set just coming nice and casually on the heels of the first 2 is wonderful news about which we should all be absolutely delighted. Now, we still don't have a huge amount of information, so do please take this with a bit of a pinch of salt. But we can now start to look at a rough timeline for set releases in One Piece. And it is a new set just over every 3 months. So we had the end of July, the beginning of November, which is just over 3 months, and then kind of beginning mid-February, which is just over 3 months. So we would expect the next set somewhere in the region of mid to late May. That would be when I would expect OP-04 to be dropping, mid to late May. Again, with only 3 sets, we don't have perfect information by any stretch, and there's absolutely a whole bunch that could change, but as it stands at the moment, that's the kind of cadence we're looking at. Now, where it gets very interesting is when we take a look at Digimon. Now, remember, I've made this point a bunch of times before. As it stands at the moment, Digimon set down, hey, here's how we're going to run a card game. And then One Piece, which, of course, remember, is made by Bandai and is both an English and a Japanese game, just like Digimon, seems to be following quite along nicely. And the one thing that Digimon have is they have EX sets, extra sets, in addition to the regular sets. Maybe they start coming. I don't know is the honest answer, but we need to prepare for the fact that we could see this. Now, if anybody's interested, we didn't get EX-01 in Digimon until after BT6 had dropped. So we're at OP-03 with One Piece. What that means is we are a way away. If they do start doing these EX sets, we're a way away at the moment. As it stands, we're not there yet. But give it a couple of sets, and we might start hearing about it. And I, for one, I'm a little bit excited, honestly. I like the idea of these extra sets. Now, some people don't, because obviously you bring in extra sets and, you know, there's more to buy and things get awkward. I understand all the downsides. But right now, as it stands, yeah, we don't know. But it's something to keep an eye out for. As for the set itself, we know very, very little about the set. Honestly, the best information we can really go for here is just looking at what's likely to happen in terms of releases. We are told that it's containing many attractive enemies that stood in the way of the Straw Hat Pirates, but it's called Mighty Enemy. So, you know, we kind of probably could have figured that out without being told, but it does seem like there is a bit of a theme here, and the theme is the bad guys, which is kind of cool. We can also see that it's got 127 cards, which is actually 6 more than we saw in Summit Battle, that had 121. And it is actually, again, a few more than we saw in Romance Dawn, which also had 121. So there's going to be 6 more cards in this set than there were in those. Don't know exactly how that's going to shape up. It's not going to make a huge difference, honestly. But it is a slightly bigger set, only slightly bigger. Let's not get overly excited here. But just something to keep an eye on. Okay, so that's that news. What other news have we seen? Well, it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that we've got ourselves a new promo pack. There's a new promo pack coming, ladies and gentlemen. And that means we've got a bunch of new promo cards. And that is something that makes me rather excited indeed. We have ourselves a One Piece card game promotion pack 2022 Volume 2, which is going to be given out in various events after December. And there are going to be 5 different cards that can be gotten in those packs. And actually, I'm looking at the pack here, and I might be misreading this, but it looks like it's another one of those beautiful promo packs where you get all of the cards. Now remember, the first promo pack, the one that we've all been getting at Super Pre-releases and various other places, that was a promo pack that you would buy, and it contained all 5 of the cards. So I believe that is the case here as well, which is really rather lovely. So what have we got here? We got 5 different cards, translations from myself and the lovely folks over at onepiece-cardgame.dev. Shout out to those guys for being awesome. And we've got ourselves a Portgas D-Ace, 5 cost, 6,000 power with double attack. We've not seen that many cards with double attack so far, so any cards with double attack sound A-OK by me. So yeah, sounds good, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds rather good. Remember, that is to say that when you deal damage, you deal 2 rather than 1. That's a good thing. We've also got ourselves Bartolomeo here. 2 cost, 3,000 power, counter plus 1,000, and at the end of your turn, you may rest this character to set up to one of your film-type characters other than Bartolomeo as active. I mean, it's at the end of your turn, so you're not getting any extra attacks off here, but certainly setting your blockers to active so that you can attack on your turn, but then you set yourself to active at the end of your turn, ready to block on your opponents. That could be kind of fun, could it not? We've got another Uta card. Apparently, she's just not going anywhere. 5 cost, 6,000 power. She's purple this time. And on play, add 1 Don card from your Don deck to your cost area rested. Bearing in mind, we all know what purple does. Purple like to have the Don minus, whereby you have to shuffle your Don back into your deck. But to compensate for that, purple also love to have cards that play extra Don. Oh, look. This is a card that will play extra Don very, very nicely indeed. So go team. And then we got ourselves a Jinbei, 4 cost, 5,000 power. On KO, counter plus 1,000. When it's KO'd, place up to 1 character with a cost of 3 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. And that could be yours or your opponent's. So you could put 1 card back into your deck to reuse it, or put one of your opponent's characters in to hurt them and slow them down and all of that good stuff. Either way, it sounds pretty good to me. And then we've got ourselves Sengoku, 5 cost, 6,000 power. Don X1 on your turn. All of your opponent's characters get -2 to their cost. Bearing in mind the whole thing with black at the moment is that they like to reduce your opponent's cost and then take advantage of that. so this seems like it will work rather nicely indeed. And actually, while we're here, there is another promo we probably should have a little bit of a chat about. So I told you a while ago about promo 24, I Will Become the Pirate King. This is the promo which has been given out at your, well, what we call the Tamer Exchange meetings, the exchange meetings, basically the really casual events. And you turn up, and there's no prizes, but just for turning up, you get one of these. Well, that's being given out in November, but it's being replaced in December by promo 26 Morgan. Yay! And this is 4 cost, 5,000 power counter plus 1,000, and I actually translated this one all by myself. When you are attacking, give one of your opponent's characters -3 to their cost for this turn. Again, like we said a moment ago, this is what Black does. Black like to lower cost and all of that. So yeah, sounds good to me, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds good to me. Right, so there we go. We got ourselves a new set. That's very exciting. We've got ourselves a new promo pack. I think that's pretty exciting too. And we got ourselves a new promo for those casual events, which I would contend is pretty gosh darned exciting as well. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this. Give me your impressions. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.